Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
All right, welcome Auvorians to the weekend Forex software strategy session. My name is Steve Vetterol. Do me a favor, since we are broadcasting live from the resort here in Orlando, I'm actually broadcasting out of my room. Having trouble getting a stable Wi-Fi connection. They keep wanting to blow you off and charge you for the premium. So do me a favor, if you could, please, if you could see me, see the screen okay? While we're getting that going here, I'll give you guys a shot of the pool. I don't know how clear that is, but we're at the Rosen Creek. Maybe that's a little better view here. In the Rosen Shingle Creek in Orlando. Took a break, ran up to the room here. We're actually breaking for lunch right now. It's about 1:11 here East Coast time. Going to talk just briefly today. I wasn't going to do this live, but I figured this guy gave me such a great room with a killer view. Figured I'd pump everybody up, get them all motivated to make some money, right? By looking at this fantastic resort. We're actually headed to the beach tomorrow. And a lot of the executives, been in meetings all day in the conference room or in the grand ballroom, which is actually right down here. I don't know if you could see that okay or not, but doing some great. So we're getting ready to go through a bunch of different stuff, and we're going to be releasing Flash, which I think is the important part of these meetings, other than just pumping up the builders. As you guys know, I'm not a builder. So I figured I'd come up and do this live here. Let me share the screen so we can kind of get into this and get finished, because I got to get back down there at a little bit after 1:35. Share the screen. Let's go into the Forex Factory calendar. If you guys got any questions or anything, feel free to ask away. It's been a great 2 days of meetings, doing a lot of training on really good stuff from the developers, obviously all of the big builders, a lot of awards being handed out for different levels of icon, which is certainly good to see. I won't bore you guys with all the details on that. We need to see all of you here at the event at some point. I think it would be good to have everybody here. So hopefully, let's see if we get a sharing of the sound. Yeah, let's do this. There we go. Let me close off all of the. All right, here we go. Cool. Let's see if we can get this a little more oriented towards the golf course, right? You know, be looking at my ugly face. You want to be looking at the golf course, right? All right, so next week, a lot of events on tap. It's the 1st of August, starting tomorrow, which is Sunday. So we got the calendar set here. Just red folder events is all we care about. We have the Monday. It's a bank holiday up in Canada, as well as today, a bank holiday down in Australia. ISM manufacturing coming out. So we have a fair amount after the holiday down in Aussie land going on as far as RBA statements. Do be aware of this. Unemployment rates, you know, these all could affect the movement of AUD or the New Zealand dollar. Either way, yeah, it's a little better shot. For those of you just joined us, so I got a couple questions on this. So this is the resort. It's actually a fabulous place. We're in the process of running until about 5 o'clock today with our presentations with a lot of the top leaders and executives. I'm going to show you guys a little bit towards the end of this call how good Flash has done, which our sort of beta test name for this was EA13. So I'll run through a couple of Forex factory notes here, and then I'm going to jump right into. I'm not going to do a lot of charts today, just in the interest of time. I figured you guys want to see something a little different. Do stay tuned, especially if you have any questions, which you can ask live. I would definitely get it out to your teams as we announced today. I'm going to be doing the exact same presentation next Saturday, because I'm traveling this Tuesday, so I won't be able to do the call. We'll alert everybody via Zoom if you forget, if you try to log in. But next Saturday, I'm going to be doing the exact same presentation that I did on stage yesterday. And it was a presentation on the holy grail of trading. Stay tuned, call your teams, get everybody on the call for next Saturday, because if you do have questions, you want to be live to be able to ask them. And I can answer those questions next Saturday. So there's a little teaser for everybody. I'll communicate that obviously in Telegram. So just going through the rest of the Forex factory here. Can't really see the screen because I'm trying to get this camera going. So with the rest of the week, do keep in mind that you always see during Wednesday ADP non-farm. Sometimes it gives you a little bit of an insight into what's going to happen on Friday. It's not always a great indicator, but essentially the most important thing is that it is non-farm payrolls on Friday. So unemployment rate, as you can see down at the bottom of the screen here, these are the big ones. So if you've had a good weekend or your automated system's done pretty good for the week, just have, I would just turn it off. Wouldn't be accepting any trades on Friday, at least around this period of time. So as we move through August into September, certainly towards the end of October, just understand that a lot of financial institutions that run pools of money have their actual fiscal year end October 31st. So typically that brings more volatility into the markets. Do keep in mind that there's events almost this entire week in every big marketplace, right? Bank of England, certainly events, Bank of Australia and Bank of New Zealand events, certainly the unemployment rate as far as the US and Canada on Friday, but a lot of AUD stuff speaking. Can't say it's going to do anything to the currency markets. Typically, these are fairly canned presentations without a lot of room for errors or slip ups, if you will, during Q&A. So just note that as far as that. Let me switch over to the next screen. Okay, just a quick look at me switch over. Here we go. So as I had talked, get a better view of this. Maybe it's a little easier to see. It's always more difficult working off of one screen. But looking at DXY, you can see the resistance I've been talking about a lot, right up just under 93, has certainly come to fruition. Notice a yellow line, which typically designates a much stronger area of resistance from a ceiling standpoint here has shown up on this. And now we're sort of bouncing between a fairly tight range. I would expect this to possibly break lower. It's going to depend a lot on what's being said this week, especially in terms of the unemployment rate, right? Inflation's been heating up. Told everybody to sort of keep an eye on all the inflation metrics around the world a little closer than we normally would, just because of the fact that we're seeing prices go up in almost all asset classes. So the question was actually asked, can we zoom in to see the Florida sessions? They're not recording it, but I would imagine they are shooting the entire thing in 4K. We actually have a whole crew down here, our favorite Tennessee production companies down here, Dillon and Company. They are shooting the whole thing. There's an absolute mass load of video going on. I would imagine they're going to break up this entire Florida session. But I did catch, and let me just take a quick peek through here. This is our Summit Speakers Telegram channel. See if I can get you guys this link. They're going to start back up here in about 15 minutes. I think somebody dropped the link in here, if I'm not mistaken. Here, let's just take a look at the This is tough to do on one screen. Yeah, here's the see if I can just copy this link. I'm going to drop this link in the chat window for you guys if you want to. I can't, I mean, I'm not here to sort of play out whether or not this is going to work for you guys as far as streaming the event live. I'm not speaking today, but I know Tyler's going to be our R&D director and developer at Gearbox. He's going to be speaking at, I think, 2 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken, introducing Flash, if you guys want to see it. So in the chat window, you see the link there. Euro USD, real quickly. Not much has changed from my chat about this on Tuesday, staying inside this tight range. Notice this is almost a complete uncorrelated or inverse, if you will, of the DXY. I'm really going to need to see some of these events play out this week. If you guys want me to show any particular currency, just let me know. Let me just dismiss a couple of these questions. Our GBP real quick, same thing. I had a question on CAD. Daily charts we're just showing for today. Just hide this stuff so it's a little easier to see. Here we go. How much different than what I've talked about this whole time. Let's do the dollar yen association. This has been really coiling. So I would expect this to, since we're not really seeing a lot of downside and we're hitting a bunch of moving averages, I would expect this to probably continue trending sideways, and or if it does break the coiling or the tightening effect, it's probably gonna be moving higher. Dollar Swiss, same thing. Tight coiling. I would suspect that we resume moving higher. Trend is currently up long term. AUD USD for the question I just got. Let's take a look at gold. Still real tight range. Not a lot going on. Summertime, slower volumes, no surprise. Been talking a lot about that. Here is the NEO currency for those, GBP CAD. Still being contained within that range. Would expect it probably to continue to bounce, pending anything different this week from the Bank of England. Let's see, Euro GBP. Same tight range. Notice this bounced off the bottom. It's the first time we've touched this since April. So of note, 2 dojis formed at the bottom, and now we're pushing back up off of support. Make a note of that. And let me see if I can get that URL to everybody. Let's try that again. There we go. I don't know if that's going to work. That's just what was posted in the executives chat for the summit. I guess so some can stream. Let's see what else. Let's talk quickly on some crypto. I know there's comments related to potential breakout or failure thereof. This broke above 40. And notice these volumes on this breakout been declining. I should say the volumes on the lift have been declining, right? That always puts these kind of moves suspect. Now, obviously, there's been some short squeezes here, right? A lot of building short. It's possible that this could flash break out, go up and blast all the shorts that are probably sitting up there, and then start its continued trend down, in which case I more than likely would not be buying the bottom of this because we're probably going lower. Could be wrong on this. We could continue higher. There's been a lot more positive comments on this. The problem when you have these types of patterns is you have a ton of bag holders up here. So typically when you get up into these areas, you're gonna have a lot of people liquidating when they get to flat or break even. That's very common with these types of patterns, especially the volumes that came in. And if there's not continued buying, we drift lower and continue to auction price lower until we find some sort of stabilization of buyers. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was the base and a stabilization, but this is not forming any kind of breakout pattern that is long-term sustainable. But who knows? Crazier things have happened in crypto, right? I could be wrong. Just of note, make note of that. Ethereum. Now you notice this has not broken out of that range, right? So even though the Bitcoiner has, it has not been followed by Ethereum in terms of that breakout. Again, plays suspect to those moves. You know, I'm beginning to also look at the price of Coinbase. It's just a daily chart. Keep in mind, this hasn't gone public, but as usual, the public was complete bag holders if they bought this thing. In some cases, they're over 40% lower on their initial buy on an IPO. This is why I never buy the first day. Almost always you have some drift lower on an IPO and then a base, of which none of this has played out to be a decent base. If truly the growth in Coinbase was going to continue in its bananas pace with this ridiculously overpriced IPO, we would see this starting to break out of a pattern and lift up. We're not. Notice the volumes are sort of drying out. So at some point, we're going to probably have another big move lower, possibly to find a base. If this was breaking out big time and volume was increasing, isn't necessarily a precursor for Bitcoin, but it is a hint, right? And you're always looking for that edge in trading, any kind of hint or things just to help you do better. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say today. So I know a couple of people have shot me some questions. We're at the Rosen Creek Shingle Resort. It's probably not done. Maybe the view's a little better. She headed down to our use the conference rooms over here. This grand ballroom we're in, so forth. This is the resort. You guys can't see it or not. Golf course, beautiful place. Orlando, Florida. So I wish everybody a great week. We will give some heads up on different stuff. I did want to end, as promised, with the performance of EA13. This is my FX book. This is a real account. Do keep in mind that with Yakir is our Israeli developer of Flash. The drawdown on this has been really low, and I'll actually show you this is more of a conservative account. You guys can see the win rates on this. This is not a martingale strategy. Okay. Win rates, high 60s, very good. In some cases, low 70s. It's exactly what you want to see. Do keep in mind also, let me show you the go back to the chat on this because I wanted to show you guys the screen as well. This is the aggressive settings, okay? Not necessarily we're going to recommend this for smaller accounts, but certainly for larger accounts, this is a $5,000 demo. You can see that this is done really well. Do note that drawdown at 10%. It was a little lower, slightly more aggressive settings. We'll get into that. I mean, we don't have all there's tons of different settings that are being run in demo right now. So we'll get into all that. You know, obviously past performance is no indication of the future, right? Don't trade with capital that you cannot afford to lose. I promise you, it will not be a good start for your career mentally. But note that, you know, we're always looking for new products. This is the first time in the history of the one-year career I've been with this company as your chief market strategist, your watchman on the wall, if you will, as Bill Wynn, our technology officer, called me the other day. I'm always trying to, you know, look out for the risk. Hence a presentation I'm going to do for you guys next Saturday. But one of the key things to note is that we need a more broad or a deeper bench of products that we're putting out for our subscribers. So this is another great thing to add to the arsenal. And I would imagine there'll be both the automated and MAV versions of this. Hopefully they can get that coded in. I don't foresee Because do keep in mind also, I don't know if they're going to talk about this today, but there's almost 300 customers in Tel Aviv that are already trading with this. So they've been trading for almost a year and a half, with everything from aggressive to conservative settings on all different kinds of currencies, by the way, too. So we'll get a little deeper into that, but it's a lot of US dollar-based currencies, more liquid-based majors this is trading. So we're going to talk about, it's called Flash. Stay tuned. NAS 100, let's take a look before I get going here. Let's go back and look at that. I mean, there's no surprise if you look at either the Qs or IXIC, which represents the NASDAQ. Maybe actually a full screen on this. Resistance up here, 14,857 area. Support, 14,340. Got we're really stretched, not from a Bollinger Band standpoint, which this upper zone, these upper lines, almost like a teal color. But from look at how much lower a lot of these moving averages are, it's potentially possible for this to just continue on. Probably best if one's going to look at this, especially if you're trading something like this, is take a look at it on a 4-hour chart. Okay. It almost looks the same as the daily. Still that resistance point right up here, just under 14,800. So just note that. Maybe we spend some time trading under that area, trading out. If I was to just look at, and if I can do the zoom with this goofy mouse I have, this is probably all you want to see on the screen as far as market profile. And let me switch actually over to the Qs. I'm gonna look at that. Just want to see this upper range. Let's do it like this. So the profile, or the center point of just this entire, let me make sure this is the only data I want to see. This has a really cool, just a window of view field that'll just shows you the data of aggregated volume here on the left-hand side in blue, just based on the candles that you see within the screen. So they call it the view range. But notice that volume point of control is right under there at 360. So remember, there's really not a lot of volume to represent on IXIC, especially since it's on a delay with trading view in terms of data. So I just look to the Qs, and then it gives you a good estimation of where the levels are, because most people are trading the Qs anyway. All right, guys, got to get going here. So wish everybody a great trading week. Stay safe. May the trades be with you.